Welcome to the sunny shores of Cape Cod. It's another beautiful night for baseball, and the Bourne Braves are back in action.
Cape Cod Baseball League, where the best players from across the country come together and square off against one another. Welcome to episode 11 of Tomahawk Talk. Here's our starting lineup: Liam Sullivan, Kerry Crowley, Troy Lynch. I'm Chris Jones. If the Braves were the Showtime Braves last year, they're the No Time Braves this year. Got off to an 0-6-1 start, and now they've won 4 in a row. They're out of last place and are just rolling as they score 8 runs tonight, guys.
No time because they needed no time to turn it around. The Braves, for the first time this season, are out of the cellar in the West Division. The Katuitt Kettleers now hold down 5th place as the Braves improved to, like you said, Chris, 4-6-1. It felt like last week would never end. It feels like this week it's just gone by so quickly.
And Liam, the offense got going, 8 runs. Yes, they were helped by 4 errors from the left side of the infield for the Anglers, but what else did you see tonight?
Well, I mean, Nick Solak really settling into that top of the lineup, and then Cam Duznak they just keep producing for those 3, 4, 5 hitters, and they get their hits in the middle of the lineup, but I mean, with that on-base percentage at the top there, really can't complain.
Another guy at the bottom of the order we talked about, a little bit of a double leadoff with Robson in the 9 spot, and he was excellent tonight, Troy.
Yeah, absolutely. They're using his speed well, and he was a teammate of Mississippi State Reed Humphreys, and he went deep tonight as well, but it's so nice, at least for Nick Solak, picking up the RBIs, even though he's a leadoff guy. He has the most RBIs on the team, and getting Jacob Robson on base is huge, because every time he gets on first, there's a chance he might be on second. Stole 2 bases tonight, 2 runs. He was great.
Troy talked to Jacob Robson. Here's his interview with Jacob.
Hi, I'm Troy Lynch, and I'm here with player of the game, Jacob Robson. And tonight, the Braves come out victorious 8-2 over the Chatham Anglers. Now, you had 2 runs and 2 stolen bases, and there also was a play where you beat out the throw to first and 2 runs scored. I mean, was this supposed to be a statement game for you, saying that this was your first game as a Brave?
You know what? I'm kind of more of a speed type of player, so, my approach is put the ball in play and, beat it out and use my speed. So I think so. I mean, I look to bunt whenever I can, and, the first hit was a bunt. And, like I said, if I put the ball on the ground, there's going to be a chance that something good's going to happen for the team.
Now, when you do make it on base, is it like a goal for you to steal as many bases as you can, or was tonight just something Harvey was telling you to do?
Well, when I get on and I can kind of read the pitcher and see what he's doing, I want to look to take the base, but of course I wouldn't do anything against what the coach is saying. I mean, I just want to get in scoring position if I'm on first and if I'm on second and, I see that I can steal third, I'll look to do that as much as I can. I just want to be as aggressive as possible.
Right, and 10 hits tonight. Would you say it's kind of like the baseball nature? Once somebody else starts hitting, the rest of the team kind of starts piling them up, and was that the case tonight?
I agree. Yeah, definitely it was. We were putting balls in play, weren't striking out that much. When we were striking out, we were going deep in counts, and yeah, guys were putting balls in play and starting to drive some balls. We had some doubles, and Humphreys with the home run. Not really surprised about that. He's a real good player, and I think we're going to hear a lot more about him in the future.
And you mentioned Reed Humphreys, another player from Mississippi State, as you are. Is it nice coming into a brand new team, already knowing somebody and you've been a former teammate with?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he'll kind of show me and instruct me how things are done here, for example, like how we warm up and, things like that and what the routine is. And, him and I are pretty close anyways at school, so it's definitely great to spend the summer with a teammate.
All right, 8-2 was the final score here at Veterans Field in Chatham. For Jacob Robson, I'm Troy Lynch, and we're going to send it right back to Tomahawk Talk.
Thanks, Troy. Liam, you were the star of the game today. Unfortunately, poor attire. It was freezing out. You're wearing shorts and a short-sleeve polo. How did you feel through the course of this game?
Well, about innings 4 through 6, I was feeling pretty cold out here at Veterans Field. But at the same time, It's pretty much a balmy night here. I do go to Syracuse where it is really, really cold most of the year. We don't see much grass in upstate New York. But in hindsight, I would have packed a sweatshirt. I was rushing from my job at Dunkin' Donuts where I actually did serve Braves catcher Billy Walker an iced coffee today. He likes his iced coffee, light and sweet, and he told me before the game that he enjoyed it because it was made with a little extra TLC.
Is Billy Walker your player of the game?
No, I'm not going to go with Billy Walker. I'm going to save my pick for that segment if we're going to segue
We're going to go right into player of the game. So
Okay, all right, here we go.
It's a great segue.
You nailed it. Yeah, that was good. Your pick.
Well, it's not Billy Walker. It's going to be Nick Solak. I mean, just once again at the top of the lineup, scoring an RBI, just does it all.
Carey?
I'm going with something that you led me on to, and this was the other night picking the 8th slot in the order. Tonight, I'm picking the 8th slot in the order. Billy Walker and Mike Garzillo. Great stuff from the designated hitters tonight. Billy Walker in his first 2 at-bats, won a 10-pitch at-bat, and then he worked an 8-pitch walk, and he followed that up with a single. Mike Garzillo comes in a pinch run after that single, ends up scoring a run, so the 8th slot in the order comes around, goes a run, and then the next time Garzillo's up, a critical sacrifice fly with a runner on third base, less than 2 outs, a situation which the Bourne Braves were at that time kind of struggling in this ball game, and Garzillo's at bat picked it up, catapulted this Braves offense to an 8-run outing. First time this season they've scored more than 4 runs. I'm taking the 8th slot.
All right. Well, I don't want to be cliche and pick the guy who I interviewed, but I'm exactly going to do that. All right, Jacob Robson. He was definitely the star of the game, not just because he played so well, but it was his first game in the Cape, and he made a statement tonight. 2 runs, 2 stolen bases, and he had that one play over at first where 2 runs scored, and he's always going to be a threat. And him at that 9th spot, he's going to be dangerous, and looking forward to seeing him play the rest of the season.
I think it's worth mentioning it was Robson's second Bourne Braves game this season. Trivia. His first was for the Brewster Whitecaps against the Bourne Braves. He pinch hit the other night, and then he did so well by striking out that the Braves brought him in, and he's been an excellent addition to the team.
My players of the game. The bullpen was excellent. Once again, the numbers are just filthy during this 4-game win streak. But I have to give a couple shout-outs. Whoever was playing music here at Veterans Field, spot on. Yes. Every song in between innings was a jam. Maroon 5 was in there.
There's Lonely Boys.
There's just
little Matchbox 20.
Yeah, there was Matchbox 20.
There was some Creed and Nickelback
and also shout out to the angler who turned off the lights of that truck in center field. That was clutch.
The last person though, congratulations Austin Conway on winning the 50-50 raffle. We don't know if you get to keep your money, but we'll find out. Troy will probably interview you pregame tomorrow before the Twin Bill. So awesome. Tune back in. We'll have the Twin Bill tomorrow, hopefully weather permitting, for episode 12 of Tomahawk Talk.